As much as I enjoy Google's Pixel phones, their inability to stop leaks and for leaks to come from literally everywhere is just unmatched. We have an article here. Android Authority, Camilla Wojciechowska, go figure. I feel like it's always either them or it's Michelle Ramon. These people are just constantly breaking news. It's unbelievable. Giant Pixel 9 leak gives us our first real-world look at the Fold, and this stuff is coming from the Taiwanese version of the FCC, the NCC. It's a regulatory agency. These devices have to come through and be basically certified in a way of talking, and somehow or another, photos from this have leaked onto the internet, and we have, guys, we have a lot to talk about. Oh my lord, we have a lot to talk about. I guess the only thing there is for me to do is let's just go through these photos and point things out about it. First off, look at all those fingerprints, NCC. Couldn't wipe the thing down. Oh my lord. Let's look at this sort of section down here and the logo. I wanted to point that out because it's actually pretty interesting. When it comes to these prototype devices, this is what Pixels tend to look like. They'll have kind of a weird logo and these weird patterns on the back of them that signify that they are indeed a prototype. But there's a lot more to look at here. Look how much smaller the area next to the screen is. When I pull out my current Pixel Fold, you should be able to see on this side that is quite a bit thicker than it is there on the Pixel Fold 2 or the Pixel 9 Pro Fold, as apparently it's going to be called. We have a good look at that camera module there on the side as well. 3 cameras. Looks like a 5x telephoto, a periscope. That's that square one here. We also have a ultra wide, a wide, and then maybe like a depth sensor or something like that. Camera on the far right hand side, and much smaller bezels than what we have on the original Pixel Fold. And a lot of people absolutely could not stand the bezels on the Pixel Fold. Well, those are being addressed. One thing I do want to point out, looking straight down at it, the crease is very, very difficult to see, but we do have some other images that will perhaps show the crease a bit better, like this one. But again, guys, that looks pretty good, right? Like, that is significantly less visible than the crease that is on my Pixel Fold. You can see right there. I mean, am I crazy, or does that look like they've pretty dramatically improved the visibility of the crease? And what's really interesting is it doesn't seem to have that like rippled effect like the OnePlus Open has. So I really don't know what's going on here. Here's another image from this side showing that it is one crease, but it looks remarkably shallow. We can also see the size of that camera bump over there. Man, oh man, is that thing absolutely monumental. It's a thin device, and you can see how thin it is. It looks to me like it's really, really quite thin. And if you're going to have a thin device and you're going to have modern camera hardware, they need depth. So you're going to have a camera bump. Personally, I'm bummed out that the bump is way over here to the side and it's not in sort of a bar configuration, because when it's sitting on a table, it's going to rock around now with a bump like that off to one side. Not the biggest fan in the world of that. So here we have a couple of Pixel Folds closed, and I think that's pretty interesting as well. Do we see anything strange here? So at the top, we do have a speaker grill that looks like it's pretty much in the same place as it was before. On the bottom, we have another speaker grill that looks like it's basically in the same exact place as well. SIM tray looks to be in basically the same exact place too. We can see the hole punch selfie camera there on the cover display. Cover display looks, the whole device really looks a lot like a OnePlus Open to me. I guess I should also point out this thing does appear to be sitting extremely flat. We know that the original Pixel Fold does have some issue going completely flat without a little bit of extra pressure. Maybe that's something that too has been addressed. Here we have the Pixel 9, and there's not like quite as much here for me to really look at. We'll just kind of go through everything again. Couple of cameras, big camera bump. I don't know why we have this on the 9, but something else on the 9 Pro. It is what it is. Under display camera there. A side view, you can see that really nice flat edge to the device. And again, that camera bump is looking enormous. Speaker on the bottom, USB-C, SIM tray. Nothing, really spectacularly interesting with these slab style phones. They look pretty much exactly as you would expect. We do also have like sorts of teardowns of these things as well, which is like, it's crazy to see these phones like broken apart before they've even been announced. Here we have the 9 Pro, so it's a little bit bigger than the 9, but you do get the periscope telephoto zoom, which you can see right there. I don't think that there's quite word yet on what the specs of any of these cameras actually are, but you can see that there is indeed a periscope telephoto. The rail here is glossy. It's reflective. I just noticed that. The rail here is matte. So the Pro has a glossy rail, and I'm wondering now, is this a glossy back versus, that's definitely a glossy back. What do we have here? Is that matte or is that glossy? We need an image of it from another angle to be sure. This is the Pro XL, so very similar to this, but just a larger screen, a larger battery, and that does look matte to me, but the side rail does indeed look glossy, so that is an interesting thing here to kind of pay attention to. Personally, I'd want a matte rail and a matte back. I'm not sure that that's going to be an option, though. Now, there's actually quite a bit more in the article itself. I'm going to leave some of that stuff off to incentivize you to click on the link in the description and go to Android Authority and read the rest of it. What I will say is, don't get your hopes up, but you should go click on the link to go see that. Guys, really, really crazy to have these images, to be looking at this stuff. I'm trying to sort of come around on the Pixel Fold 2. You guys know me. You know that I love this form factor. I love the short screen. I love the landscape tablet. When you open it up, it's wider. I almost dropped it. It's wider than it is tall, which makes split screening really, really nice. And you know that I've said this a million times when we're talking about this device, it's basically a OnePlus Open, okay? It's remarkably similar. I think I've said the word remarkably a couple times in this video. It's extremely similar to the OnePlus Open in all ways. It is now taller than it is wide. I think that it looks pretty good. If we're going to abandon this form factor, I'm going to have to just deal with it and just kind of roll with it. If I take that out of my mind and just accept it, I will admit that this is looking quite good. There are some good improvements here. The crease looks really, really hard to see, and that's kind of crazy. We know we're going to be running the Tensor G4, not the G3 and not the G2 that is in the current model. 16 gigs of RAM, a larger battery. This is looking fairly encouraging, but guys, I do want to hear what you think in the comments down below. Thanks for watching. I'll see you on the next one, and until next time, stay nerdy, my friends.